2 years ago, I talked about how you could earn some passive income with a Hive OS rig or really any system on your network using Honeygain. And today I decided to kind of revisit this. So recently, my ISP and the complex I live in made some infrastructure changes, and I can no longer have a public facing IP that is dedicated to me. And I now live in, which is basically a double NAT situation. This means that I can't have any type of port forwarding. So, regardless of whether it was a static or a dynamic IP, I can't actually forward any ports. That means that a lot of nodes I was running, like a storage node and master nodes, all kind of ceased to function. And I did find a workaround that I was able to implement using some VPSs. And part of that, though, is requiring me to rent out those VPSs in order to run basically a WireGuard VPN server on them and manage outbound and inbound traffic management through that VPN server to the systems that are running on my home network. If you're interested in how I did that, drop me a comment below. Let me know. I can always do a dedicated video talking about how to get that set up and running so that if you're unable to port forward, you can actually still run nodes and actually do the route management through a VPS. But because I had to rent VPSs for this, Oracle gives you 2 for free. I am renting some VPSs from Ionos. Those are $2 a month. So this is allowing me to run storage nodes, master nodes, things like that. But what I wanted to see is I wanted to take a look, since I'm paying to rent these VPSs now, I wanted to see if I could maybe leverage some of the other bandwidth sharing apps that are out there and see if we can basically make back that $2 a month per VPS that we're renting. So at this point, I am paying $6 a month, essentially for 5 total VPSs. And this was the video I did on Honeygain. Now, Honeygain won't work with data center IPs. It only works with residential IPs. So we're not going to be able to really make a lot off of Honeygain outside of what we could just run on our home network. But we're going to take a look at what some of the other options are. So I've got a spreadsheet that I put together, and I've been running these for only about 10 days now or so. What I did is I have 4 mini PCs, which I'll actually be adding a 5th sometime over the next couple of days. And then I also have a NAS that kind of runs on my home network. So in theory, we can run potentially 6 of these, maybe even 7, because I do have a Helium mobile phone. So some of these we might be able to leverage the phone as well. And we're going to kind of walk through each of these and what the earnings are. And again, this is a start date of 11/20. The filming of this video is Thanksgiving Day, so it's 11/28. So keep that in mind, that this is going to be a relatively small window for the earnings that you're going to see here. But I'll kind of walk through these. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to identify which ones are actually earning and which ones are just using our bandwidth and not really paying much. And my thought was I want to just keep kind of those top earning ones and get rid of the other ones. I went through this a couple years ago, and what I identified was, especially with my IP, so with the infrastructure that I have, even though I had a residential IP, it was classified as a data center IP because it was business class. It was AT&T business class, and so some of the like the bandwidth sharing apps, the proxy providers, they deem it a data center IP, not a residential IP. So I wasn't actually earning on all those platforms. So I decided to revisit every bandwidth sharing platform I could find. And that is the list we're going to go through today. So the first one is Peer to Profit. This was one I looked at a while back as well. And they've actually switched. They used to have a website. Now it's ran through a Telegram bot, which is a little bit different, but you can still see your earnings. You can still request payout, all of that. There's just not a public website for it. It's all done through a Telegram bot. But with that, they do pay out in crypto. So all of these that I'm going to show you today, with the exception of 1 or 2, were all installed via Docker. So you'll be able to run these in Hive OS if you want, or you can run them on, like I am, I'm just running these on mini PCs. And so the first one, again, peer to profit. And they don't really have a lot of these platforms, they don't have a how much are you earning daily or monthly. They don't kind of give you those earnings. What you have is you've got your current balance, and I'm keeping track of my starting balance. So this starting balance was taken 8 days ago on 11/20, and I'm going to try to do this video monthly. So next month will be a full earnings for December. But you can see my starting balance was 55 cents, and we ended up with 96 cents. So our earnings were 40 cents across those 8 days. You can actually see this last column here has the actual earnings that we got in USD. And I haven't claimed these, so these aren't actually realized earnings yet. But these are what are sitting in my wallet. And these are the payoff methods that they support. So you can get paid out in Litecoin, you can get paid out in Bitcoin, Ethereum, TON, Polygon, or USDT on a couple of those networks. The next one is EarnApp. And this one, I got a $1.51. Now, with this one, it doesn't work with data center IPs. So what you're going to see is that we are only running this on our home NAS and our Helium Mobile. It's not running on anything else. And the inverse of that, peer-to-profit did not work on our home network, but it did work on the data center IPs, which was quite interesting. So this one we're actually not running on our home network. We're just running on those mini PCs that are connected to the VPSs. EarnApp did $1.51 across, again, so that's going to be across all of those VPSs. The next one was ProxyLite. Now, ProxyLite, this is a kind of a Russian website, Russian provider. They pay out using U-Money, which anybody can sign up for, and you get paid out in US dollars. It kind of becomes like a virtual debit card, if you will, where you get a Visa or MasterCard number, and then you can use that anywhere you want. But what you're going to see is my ending balance was only 0.2 of a cent. So again, this ran for 8 days, and this ran on both my home network and all of those VPSs, and only made this. So we're actually going to flag this. We're going to remove this because to me, this one isn't worth it. We're really not yielding anything here. It's very minimal. And the next one is RePocket. And with this one, you can get paid out in PayPal, the Bitcoin Lightning Network, USDT on Polygon, and then they also have a bunch of various gift cards, or you can get USD payout on Wise. So for me, this one's a little bit interesting because I like the idea of being paid out USDT on Polygon and swapping that over to Pol. You could also get paid out on the Lightning Network. And this one does run on my home network and also all the VPSs, which was nice. And our earnings were actually pretty nice on this one. We earned $3.33 for those past 8 days. So that is really nice. And then the next one was Traffmonetizer. Now, with this one, your payouts are either going to be USDT on Tron or wire transfer. But the wire transfer, it has a minimum payout of $1,000. The Tron payout is very low. It's like $1 or something like that. $1 or $5. Again, this is running on all of our systems, our home network, and all the VPSs. And we earned 19 cents. So not too bad on that one. The next one was BitPing. And this is one I was really hoping would work. But it's just not working out that well from a earnings perspective. And the reason I really like this one is you can get paid out in Solana, and you get paid out native Solana. So these are all native coins. So Solana, Bitcoin Cash, or BSV. So I really like the idea of either getting paid out on Sol or in Bitcoin Cash, and it is able to run on all the hardware. However, we only earn 2 cents. So compared to some of the other providers, it is more on the low end. But we're gonna run this. We're gonna keep an eye on this one. This is one that I believe I tried running a couple years ago, but it would not run on my residential IP. It is now running on all of my IPs. So I'm probably going to run this at least through the end of December and see how that one does. The next one is ProxyRack. And this one, I really couldn't actually find any payout info apart from once you actually go to do the payout, which I can't do yet because I think it was either $1 or $5 to do that payout, which I haven't accrued yet. But I was able to accrue 21 cents. So seems pretty decent there for those past 8 days. So we're going to keep an eye on this one as well. And then once I actually get to request the payout, we'll see what those payout methods are. The next one is EarnFM. This one I only earned 3 cents on, and I'm not as high on this one mainly because they don't pay out in crypto. They only pay out in PayPal or Amazon gift cards, which I'm not necessarily a fan of. I'd rather just get a payout on a crypto network. But we did earn 3 cents on that one. The next one is Spide. Now, what you're going to see here is this one had a $5 sign-up bonus. So this $5 I earned was actually from the sign-up bonus. So technically I earned 1/10 of a cent. Definitely not really worth it, especially when I log into the dashboard. In fact, I can show you. This is the dashboard. And out of all of my systems, if I take a look, this one did not process any work at all, like any requests. This one only did 2 requests. This one didn't do any requests. And this one, no requests. And then the one that's running on our NAS, it did 1 request. So out of the past 8 days, I've only actually processed 3 requests, which would be like a HTTP request message. Definitely not worth it. So we are going to strike this one as well. There's no reason for us to continue to run this one. Next up is GagaNode. This one's a little bit weird in that they pay out in what is called MSN, and it's actually an ETH token. And you basically accumulate points, and then you can redeem those points for a payout. Now, to do this, you have to link your MetaMask. So definitely be cautious with that. I'm going to probably do a claim just to see how it is at some point in December. But most likely we're going to strike this one. I just don't like the overall structure to it, kind of how it works. And it's, I don't know, it doesn't come across as, something that I really like how it operates. So for this one, we're probably going to end up striking this one as well. The next one is BearShare. Now, BearShare was interesting in that I wasn't seeing any activity until about a day ago. But within the past day or so, I actually have earned 2 cents. So we're going to let this thing run through December and see how this does. I shared 0.1 gigabytes, so 100 megabytes, and I got that 2 cents. So from a payout to bandwidth providing perspective, it looks good, but we got to see if we're getting consistent work being processed by that one. So we're going to keep an eye on that one. The next one is Grass, and I'm actually going to flip all these VPS ones over to no. It does run, however, the score stays at a 0%, so I don't actually get any points awarded. I have this listed as $0. I am accumulating points. However, because there's no actual claiming process per se, right now, through Epoch 1 and Epoch 2 of Stage 2, I can't actually put a dollar value tied to that. So this one I'm kind of on the fence of whether to drop or not. We were able to get a Docker container running with Grasso, so you don't have to run it on a Windows system. You can run it in Docker, which is definitely cool to see. Next up is PacketShare. Now, PacketShare only pays in PayPal, but if we take a look at how we did on this one, we've got $5.39. Now, again, I believe this one had a $5 sign-up bonus, so we earned 39 cents, but that is still really nice from a earnings perspective. It does pay out in PayPal and not crypto, but this is one that I'm keeping an eye on because 39 cents across those 8 days is a really good figure. Next up is Honeygain. Now, with Honeygain, I do have some referrals that I get credit for off of that video that I did from a couple years ago. And there have been some people that have signed up with that referral link. And so some of that has contributed to this. But overall, what you're going to see from a earnings perspective is $7.34 for the month. And this is true month. This isn't just the past 8 days. This is the one platform that I have ran nonstop for probably 2.5 to 3 years. And I have it paying me out in the Jump token. Now, Jump is available on Binance Smart Chain, but it's also on Polygon. So when you go to do your payout, it is an on-chain payout, and it's pretty much instant. There's really no minimum that I noticed. I just, every couple months or so, I'll just do a payout to Jump token, and then I swap that into either Pol or BNB, depending on which chain I choose to do that payout on. This is another one you do have to link MetaMask, but this one is pretty safe. It's using the Jump platform, which is used outside of just bandwidth sharing. It's kind of a task incentivized platform that Honeygain has integrated. So this one has continued to work really well. It's running on my home network. It will not run on any of the VPSs, but I do have it on my mobile phone and I have it on my NAS. Next up is PacketStream. So PacketStream is a new one that I tried. It doesn't work on the VPSs. It does work on my home network, and we earned 22 cents for the month on that one, or for the past 8 days. Pawns is another one. Pawns is one that I did try way back a couple years ago. Didn't work on my home network. It is working now with the current infrastructure I have in place. So we've earned 22 cents across the phone and the NAS. So overall, that's pretty good as well. One we're keeping an eye on. ByteLixir. This one is a new one that I just found out about a couple days ago. So we've been running this one. They do give you a $1 sign-up bonus. So our earnings are actually $1.06 if we don't factor the sign-up bonus. Now this one does not run in Docker. So there's a mobile app, and then there's a Windows app that you have to run. So yeah, it can run either of those. I'm running both. And they pay out USDT, native Pol, TON, LTC, BTC, or ETH. So this is actually a pretty cool one. Now the BTC payout's like minimum of $250, and I believe the ETH one was like $40. But Polygon's only like $1, Litecoin's only like $2, TON I think is $2. So very low payouts. In fact, I am at the point I could request payouts across like 3 or 4 of those networks. I haven't. I'm letting it accumulate, but that is one that we're keeping an eye on as well. Next up is Uprock. This is a token that runs on Solana. I only have this running on my mobile phone, and we've earned 7 cents so far. Next up is Mysterium. I am running Mysterium on all of the network, or all of the VPSs, and this is a decentralized VPN. It's not getting a lot of traffic, but so far in the past 8 days, we earned 12 cents for that. And then I've got a couple other passive income sources that I have listed in here as well. We've got Demo, which we did about $25 with and that's just with one device. Our Helium mobile phone, I didn't do a lot of out and about this month with Helium, and so we only did $4.59 in that. My Helium hotspot continues to under-earn. It's not the greatest thing, but it is still up and running. It only made 49 cents on the month. Crank, which is another IoT hotspot, actually pretty much did double that. It did 83 cents for the month. Still not great. And then on all of the mini PCs and some of my mining rigs, I am running, and also on my NAS, I'm running storage providers. And this was the big reason why I actually decided to rent the VPSs and make this work, is because I like providing decentralized storage on storage. So for this month, we earned 6.39 storage tokens, which equates to about $3.81. It's not a lot, and that's because I spent most of the month just trying to get things moved over, get the systems onboarded. The way storage works, they allow you to onboard with zero collateral, but it takes time to basically build up a trust score on the network. So over the span of the next couple months, we'll gradually see these earnings increase as more data is getting stored on our systems and as that trust score is getting built up. Cornucopias I put in here as well. I do have a copy node, and right now you don't actually have to install it on your system. It's kind of a they're working on building out the node software, but while they are doing that, if you bought a license for Copy, you are continuing to earn. I decided at the beginning of the year I wanted to get involved in one gaming node project and just run nodes for it. And I picked Cornucopias for that. So we've been earning on average $9.86 a month since July. So July is when earnings kicked in, and this has been relatively consistent every month since then. From a masternode perspective, I'm running 0.1 coin nodes, 4 of those, and that only earned a total of around just under 4 cents. So not great, but each of these, incrementally adds, and we're able to run all of these services on the same system. So it's incrementally adding up to cover those VPS costs and earn us some additional crypto, as time goes by. Next up is my Pigeon data nodes. So from a Pigeon perspective, I've earned this month just over 103,000 Pigeon from the nodes, and that is worth around 23 cents. Now, I don't actually have any nodes running on the mini PCs running through the VPSs yet, so that is my plan for the month of December, is to get 4 more data nodes spun up and running on that. So that should increase these earnings by quite a bit. Innova, if you follow the channel, you know I am really big into Innova. It is a FPGA mineable coin that you can mine with the Squirrel Acorns, which are basically failed hardware that got released. Software really never got released for it. There really isn't a use case for those. However, you can mine Innova with it, and I did that for quite some time. I still do that today. But I got to the point where I could spin up a node, and this node has only been up for maybe 2 or 3 days now. So far, we've earned 10 cents in that node. We've earned 80 of that coin. So our plan is over the next few months to get nodes deployed across all 4 mini PCs and the 5th one that we'll be adding soon. And then I have 2 proof of stake coins that I included here. These are actually both masternode coins as well. However, I don't have enough collateral yet to hit that masternode threshold. So what I am currently doing is I'm holding the coins in the wallet, letting it stake, letting it compound until I get to that masternode collateral amount, and then I'll spin up the masternodes. So for these, again, these have only been up for a couple days. This one we earned 84 Saga coins, which is worth about 2 cents. And the EDEL one, we earned 112.5, which is worth about 1 cent. So these are the current passive ones I'm running. I also have a list of future masternode coins that I'm going to work on spinning up. GoByte, I've already spun up 4 of the 5 for this one. Saga, I showed you that I am working on that, and EDEL, we're currently staking those to get to the collateral. Pack, Privacy, Stake Cube Coin, Gemlink, which is a Zhash mineable coin. Merge, KFX, Collex, Shares, Pirate, SFD, and Doge C. So these are all the master nodes that eventually I'd like to run. So maybe over the course of the next year, hopefully we can get some of these spun up. And then going into the next bear market, we will be accumulating bunches of coins is kind of the plan there. And so if we take a look at, going back to the core topic of this video, all those bandwidth sharing apps, what have we earned? So based on what we've got, we're about $26 for the month. In theory, a lot of this would really be that 8-day time period, with the exception of Honeygain. So even if we take that 8 days and assume it was 30 days, $26, that's actually pretty good. We are spending $6 a month right now on kind of those rental costs. So we are netting $20 a month on top of kind of what we were, what we're paying from a rental, from a kind of an operating cost perspective. Obviously, this doesn't factor in electric, but most of these machines are using between 5 and 6 watts. So it's not a lot of power draw whatsoever. And that doesn't include the node rewards that we're getting as well. So we're getting, another 50 cents or so from node rewards. And as we spin up more, that will just compound. So that's kind of what I'm working with here. And my plan moving forward is probably to limit some of these down so we're not running all of these. But we are going to keep an eye on these. And these 3, I'm definitely going to remove probably for next month. But we'll continue to run the other ones. If you guys are interested in signing up for any of these, I do have referral links in the description below. Some of those include bonuses when you sign up. I'm not sure if all of them do or not. You don't need to click the links if you don't want to. Just if you are interested in signing up for any of those, feel free to click those links. And I believe like the one that had the $5 referral, like Spide, that $5 referral that I got, you would also get. So I think you get $5 for signing up with that one. RePocket might have like a $1 sign up or a $2 sign up. And then I believe, what was the other one? ByteLixir, I believe, also has $1. Just check the terms. Make sure you realize that you are sharing bandwidth. And so in the end, you're basically acting as a proxy server for somebody to connect to so that they could perform some type of activity on the network, on the internet. That could be darknet activity. It could just be, somebody running like a sneaker proxy, which are very common, or a web crawler. There are geo-restricted web crawlers, but, you could also be contributing to things like, YouTube view bots or social media clicking, anything like that. Like, you could be contributing to that. So just keep that in mind before you spin this up. The biggest reason I'm doing this is because I'm able to run it and route it all through those VPSs, and I don't necessarily care what traffic goes through those VPSs. So for me, it's kind of worth it, but you definitely want to weigh, and part of what I'm doing is I'm looking to see how much bandwidth is it consuming versus how much it's making. Because if it's using gigs of data, but I'm only making, a couple cents, probably not worth it. But if it's things like Honeygain, where Honeygain's using, maybe 10 gigs of bandwidth a month, but they're paying us $7, for me, that trade-off is definitely worth it.